Hey, I'm Amelia Mosley. Let's check out what's been in the news today. There are only a few days left before Aussies head to the polls for the federal election. While a lot of people are thinking about who to vote for, we thought we'd take a look at another very important part of Australia's election, the democracy sausage.
An Aussie icon, an election day essential, a cooked cylinder of minced meat beautifully caressed by a slice of white bread. But where did it all start? The very first election sausage sizzle is thought to have been held in 1940, changing voting days forever. It makes sense really. Australia is one of the few countries with compulsory voting, which means there are lots of people turning up to vote, and sausages are a cheap and easy way to keep them full and happy. Although sausage sizzles can be scandalous, and no, not just because of the way politicians eat them. In 1989, the Western Australian Premier, Peter Dowding, was accused of bribing voters with free sausages. Believe it or not, there was an investigation, which eventually found that providing free snags was not actually considered political bribery. Today, the sausage sizzle is an election institution, and most Aussies can agree that they just wouldn't be the same without them.
South Australia's Monarto Zoo has just made a very exciting announcement, and they called in a VIP to break the news. This is Jane Goodall. She's famous around the world for her conservation work with chimpanzees in Africa, and she stopped by Adelaide to help announce that one of Monarto's chimpanzees is pregnant. She says the keepers are doing some great work with the breeding program, and she used the opportunity to talk about the importance of conservation.
They're our closest living relatives, and hopefully when people come and watch a group like this, they're more concerned to think about trying to save the wild ones.
Architects around the world are busy coming up with designs for the Notre Dame rebuild, but some slightly less experienced designers are also working on it. You might remember the big fire that damaged the famous cathedral and how the French president vowed to rebuild it. Well, France started an international competition to ask for experts' designs, and naturally the internet's come up with some interesting suggestions. How would you like a pool on the roof? Or maybe a car park for all of the visitors? And yeah, I can't see this one getting approved. And speaking of famous Parisian landmarks, the Eiffel Tower has just celebrated a birthday. 130 years ago, it was officially opened to the public, and people have rocked up to celebrate.
Any excuse is a good excuse for a party, right? To celebrate the big birthday, 1,300 kids were invited to explore what's arguably Paris's most famous monument. That's 10 kids for every year. They got to explore the tower and learn more about its history. Back in the 1880s, a competition was organised to build an iron tower to mark 100 years since the French Revolution. There were 107 entries, but it was Gustave Eiffel's team that was chosen. At the time, a lot of people actually really hated it and said it didn't fit with the other buildings in Paris. But now, 130 years on, the tower is still standing, frequented by about 7 million visitors a year, and known around the world as a significant and much-loved monument for Parisians and tourists alike.
Now to some stories of people helping others. We'll call this segment Give Us a Hand, Mate. As far as dangerous jobs go, turns out window washer is right up there. 2 people were working on this building when their basket thingy disconnected from the roof and started swinging. They were 50 stories up. Luckily, firefighters lent them a hand and a rope to get them back to safety. Australia's first NBA All-Star player Ben Simmons is helping out Aussie basketball fans everywhere by letting the world know he's going to play for the Boomers.
I'd also like to announce that I am going to be a Boomer for the upcoming events, so stay tuned.
Australia's national team has never won a World Cup, but some are hoping that with Simmons on side, and a whole bunch of other big-name Aussie NBA players, we might just have a winning chance in China in August. And check out these little jaywalkers. This family of ducks was spotted waddling over Brisbane's Gateway motorway during peak hour traffic. Luckily, the police decided to literally lend them a hand. They blocked off 2 whole lanes and provided the ducklings and their mama with a police escort out of there. Well, that's about it for today, but let us know, what awesome feature would you like added to the Notre Dame Cathedral? Comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe.